ladies and gentlemen, CBS Sunday football analyst, J.J. Watt. New place in the house.
That's going to be me and my Wi-Fi guy here in a couple minutes. That's it.
Hey, sticks, glove. Yeah, right over the top. Bang,
Boom.
pow, boom. That Wi-Fi guy who is certainly not in charge of what's happening on your phone deserves to eat a couple. Would you ever get any fights on the field? And do you feel like we saw more fights this past weekend than normal? It was all over the place.
Yeah.
Felt like everywhere was kind of scrapping. Why do you think that's the case, JJ?
Fighting has been upticking. There's no doubt about it. I also think fighting has been upticking in the stands. It's been insane, all the stuff that we've been seeing. But on the field, I do think it's been upticking. I have a feeling that this is something that the NFL typically likes to nip in the bud very, very quickly. So there's probably going to be a whole bunch of big fines laid out so that they don't see it again. But it's a violent game. You got a bunch of grown men who are about to get themselves into a game where you have to get your adrenaline going. And I agree with AJ. When you're running through somebody else's warm-up, that's when it gets chippy. Because all you got to do then is just drop a little shoulder right into a guy's chest plate as he's running past you. And now we got a whole benches clearing brawl.
I do appreciate from those wide-angle shots, you're seeing who on the team is at least running in. You know what I mean? There's a couple guys in that Cowboys Chargers one where they're running in towards the end. And now, are you choosing to get into the back of the line, or are you choosing to come into the side of the front? You see 84 there. Yeah, do I want to? I'm going to go over here, show face. Are we fighting? Are we not fighting? Oh, Eckler already got his head knocked off. 54 comes flying in. 88's coming in there late. I appreciate Herbert's like, well, I got a dislocated finger.
Smart.
Are we doing this entire thing?
Stay over there, buddy.
It's a good indicator, though,
Yeah.
for a lot of people to watch, like, hey, who's in, and who's out. Both those teams had a great showing there.
Yeah.
Both those teams are.
And you absolutely go back and watch that. Like, the players know who jumped in and who stayed on the outskirts. We did that in training camp fights. The offense versus defense, you get into the battles, and then you get in the film room the next day and you look and you're like, hey, you kind of hung back. You didn't come in when I was getting into it with the O-line. And it changes the complexity. There is no doubt about it. It changes how you look at each other.
Hey, you see this? This is you right here. You see? This is where everybody else is. What's going? Why?
Who's the last one on this show? Who's the last one in the pile?
I'm going to Tone Diggs.
I originally thought that about me, but I've never been one to turn down one.
Yeah, Tone Diggs actually, there's a classic story about him saying nice truck to a guy down on the south side, and that guy getting out, knocking out Tone's friend, and then Tone going, what? And then the guy knocking him out as well. So, I mean, Tone will.
CFO Phil needed a partner one time. I was the first guy jumping the pastures.
See, you're right. You're 100% right. Okay, so Tone wouldn't do it.
But New Me might be the last one.
Yeah, Indiana Tone, I mean, might be.
Yeah, those are two different people. I've gotten soft out here.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Tone. But nonetheless, everybody would end up in the fight, which I think is a good description of your culture. Whenever you fought Bill O'Brien, was everybody, did any?
Good question. Yeah, who jumped in?
Uppercut, right hand, left hand. What was
Easterby.
Jump in.
Did the coaches,
wrestling?
what was it? Did you lock up?
It went to the ground,
Just
didn't
a
it?
lot of nice words. Just a lot of nice conversations. Yeah. Just talk.
Okay,
Just talk,
yeah, we'll
guys.
get the practice film someday.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we'll certainly get it. But that type of passion is what fuels greatness.
That's right.
You need that type of stuff. Let's talk about some greatness. Scoring is down across the league because of how great defenses are. Let's start with the two big-time upsets from this past weekend. This Jets defense is going to keep the Jets, I think, in every single game. And there's a chance that they're going to keep the Jets in this season long enough for a guy to cure an Achilles tear from week one in the season to come back to join them. This Jets defense is obviously phenomenal. A lot of hype last year and going into the season. What do you see from them, and why are they so damn good, JJ?
I mean, I think they're obviously one of the main reasons that people put the Jets in that Super Bowl contender category when Aaron Rodgers joined the team. And then they're also, after his injury, that's the whole reason that anybody has any belief in them whatsoever is because of that defense really going to do some incredible work. I love Bryce Huff. I think there's a lot of names on that defense. I think there's a lot of guys that can play a lot of great football. I think Bryce Huff coming off the edge, he's got some great pass rush moves. He's got some incredible technical skills. And I know right now he's got a ton of pressures and maybe not the biggest sack numbers, but that's a guy that's been getting back there and making a lot of things happen and maybe not getting as much shine as he deserves comparative to the rest of the guys.
Yeah, I think that's the first time I've heard his name said into anything that's being recorded. So I will certainly keep an eye out for old Cuz. But they're loaded over there. Go ahead, AJ.
JJ, was there anything offenses would do that you just despise and yet you would hate? Say, like maybe they quick count you the whole game, or obviously quick game, get the ball out of their hands, or there's a certain like blocking scheme. Was there something that you could think of that you're like, I hate these guys and I hate everything about this?
Colts.
Yeah, throwing up to T.Y. Hilton always hurt. One of the things that's honestly, and you can speak to this, that's so underrated in the NFL is snap count. I think that there's so few teams that utilize the snap count to the full extent of its abilities, because what it does is it takes any little ounce of advantage that a defensive guy can get out of the equation. So for me, I'm watching every single week, every ounce of film, all the audio, whatever we can get to get the snap count. Because if I can get that little jump, that little quick head start, that gives me such an advantage. But teams don't use it, and I understand why. You got to get 11 guys on the same page about the play, about the scheme, about everything else. And then on top of that, they got to remember the snap count and make sure everybody goes off at the same time. I was funny. Chad Henne.
Is that would get you right? That was Tony Romo's, I think. Yeah, that was his.
Yeah, no, I almost jumped off sides right there. What a snap count.
You were about to say
Chad Henne.
There it is.
Chad Henne had one of the best snap counts I've ever played against. It was incredible because the key to a snap count is it has to sound like your regular count. And I, to this day, don't know how Chad Henne didn't get his own guys to jump off sides. He went on three. People don't go on three in the NFL. We're not the smartest humans in the world. So to get the entire offense on one page to go off at the same time is tough enough. But Chad Henne got me to jump probably more than anybody else.
TJ told us that he would actually listen to games that about a quarterback he's playing against. He would listen to the entire game. I think he said in like a dark room, all by himself. He's just listening to the cadence and listening to the quarterback. I assume that is something that you both did. When did you start doing that? And is that a normal thing for pass rushers to do?
Yes, it is normal. It probably looks a little bit weird, but it absolutely is normal. And you're trying to get anything. So there's so many little nuances to it. When a quarterback walks up to the line, sometimes they give a little word to let their offensive line know, a little reminder. Hey, remember 3 seconds ago when I told you it's on one? I'm reminding you right now it's on one by saying, they might walk up and say, white. That lets the offense know it's on one. They might walk up and say black. That means it's on two, or it's a dead count where he's not going to snap it at all until he makes it live. So there's all these little things, and then the offensive line will communicate to themselves. AQ could speak to this. They might say water, which means hold your water. Don't jump when he says it because the cadence isn't live. All these little things that you pick up that help you in the long run. And I've learned a lot of those little words over the years, and they are very, very helpful.
I could imagine, yeah. And you can't sell that you know it either. So whenever you hear it, you just got to act like you don't hear it because, what was it? I think it was the Seahawks taking on Peyton Manning at the Broncos. And they had 2 weeks, and a Legion of Boom basically learned all of his signals. Allegedly, this is what happened. So whenever he started doing all his signals, they weren't telling each other what it was, but everybody was expected to kind of know it. And then they just killed the Denver Broncos. It's like not giving away that you know is also a pretty big deal, I would assume.
Yeah, no, it's sometimes it's hard because you want to just be like, how like dumb this sounds? Like I know everything you're saying right now. But also some people are really, really smart and they'll switch it up on you. They'll know that you know, and then they'll dummy you. And I've gotten caught with that before. Somebody changes up their signals because they know I know the signals, and all of a sudden I'm standing 4 yards in the backfield and the ball hasn't been snapped. So I'm prone to look like an idiot from time to time myself.
Well, not today, not with that jersey. No way. Not with what you got going on. Let's talk about a defense that is problematic and has 1,002 yards total given up on the entire season, which is the best performance since the 1971 Colts defense, basically, in the entire history of the NFL. I think the 50, how many first downs? 52? 52 first downs on the entire year. The Cleveland Browns seem to be unstoppable. What Schwartz has been doing is fantastic. They have the weapons, obviously, to be great. They're taking on a legend this weekend in Gardner Minshew. But why is this Cleveland Browns defense so dominant? And what are we maybe not hitting or talking about over there, you think?
I mean, they've had players like they've been a very good defense, and they've had the players to be a good defense. I think it's all been unlocked with Schwartz. I mean, Schwartz is all about attacking. He's all about letting these guys play. He's all about just letting these dogs on the edges go eat. And I think that's what's so good is that these guys are just flying around, dominating people, and that just kind of breeds this culture of even more success on the defensive side, because as you dominate teams, you get a little bit more confidence. Everybody around you gets more confidence, and then it just snowballs into this thing. I mean, they are out here crushing people. We all know the Niners offense is one of the most dominant offenses in the game. They can beat you with 4, 5, 6 different guys at any time. But the Browns took away basically all of it, and they went out there and they won that game almost by themselves on the defensive side of the ball. So it's pretty incredible what they do. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. How many first downs are the Colts getting this week? How many points are we putting up?
Probably 20 if I had to guess. That ain't going to happen. I know Gardner Minshew ain't going to throw another pick. He had 3 last week. I don't think he's going to have another one against this Cleveland. It's in Indianapolis too, JJ. It is in Indy. So we're going to be there. And it's like, I almost wish that before the game starts, the MC would be like, ladies and gentlemen, today the Indianapolis Colts are taking on a historically great defense. So let's not start the boo birds, because I assume, you know what I mean?
Set the expectations.
Yeah, I wish they would tell everybody, because I don't know if everybody in Lucas Oil Stadium is going to be in the know that what the Cleveland Browns defense is like godly, pretty much. So, once Gardner Minshew, so we got Grover Stewart just got suspended for 6 games. Anthony Richardson's out for the rest of the season with a shoulder surgery. Shane Steichen, this is his first year as head coach, supposed to be an offensive guru. With what Gardner Minshew did last week, if he has 3-4 series where they don't gain a yard, which 1,002 of them is all that this team has given up in 6 weeks or whatever, the Colts fans are going to get a little, but that's going to happen a lot with this Browns team. Like, they are going to dominate away games as well. Defense can travel, obviously, and that type of stuff is just like pummeling to a spirit of a team. And they have the chance to do that, I think, this weekend to us.
But the Pittsburgh Steelers did put up points in to win against them. And, I mean, they're not the offensive juggernaut right now. So maybe the Colts come in here and they put up a performance. Who
Kenny
knows?
has thrown for the most yards against the Cleveland Browns.
Well, listen, here's the deal. Okay. Until Gardner, maybe the MC needs to say, hey, listen, this team's really good, but they haven't seen Gardner Minshew yet. And then, then really set the expectations of what it's going to be. But they've been fun to watch. Why is Schwartz? Just because he's so aggressive? Why isn't every defense coordinator aggressive?
You got to have the guys, man. I mean, that's the number one thing it comes down to is if you don't have the guys to be aggressive DB, you can speak to it. I mean, for me personally, I wanted to have – I mean, this is the most obvious statement ever, so congratulations to me for coming up with it. But having lockdown corners that can play cover 1 or can play cover 0 and allow your defense to rush 5 and let those dogs up front go eat, that is what it takes to be successful. But
wow, that was a good. Hey, that was a good round. That was really good.
Nah, they got dudes though, like dudes that are versatile too. Like Greg Newsome, former first-round pick corner, he plays inside. He's a dog. Emerson on the outside. Ward, lockdown guy. Grant Delpit, who came in second-round pick, he's playing up his potential. Having Zadarius opposite of Myles Garrett now is a game changer. Wosu, the linebacker on second level, he flies around. Anthony Walker, like they got dogs on every level that communicate, fly around. I forget who mentions it about like their loaf and how they
celebrate AJ.
Loaf celebrations. Yeah, like that. It pops off the tape that they love playing for each other and they love playing for their coach. So that's a deadly combination.
It's what Wade Phillips was a guy like that did that. Obviously, my first couple of years in the league, Wade Phillips is a guy who he loves to play man-to-man coverage and he loves to let his guys up front eat. I mean, I was very fortunate as a defensive lineman to play in that and be successful in it. Aaron Donald was extremely successful in it, obviously, for Wade Phillips. He was up there in Denver. He had DeMarcus. He had Von Miller. So, I mean, it also is that combination where, like I was talking about, you build that confidence and you guys get better because of that style of play. That's kind of what we've all had with Wade, where you got to have good players to do it, but you also make your good players look even better with the schemes you pull up.
There's a bunch of stats that say the Browns are the best man-to-man defense team in the NFL by far, too. So it's like it all kind of feeds into each other, and they got a buzzsaw on the Colts this weekend. Conman has a question for you, JJ.
Yeah, JJ, right now there's the whole entire tush-push thing, and everyone thinks it's so easy, and they tried to get rid of it. But what does that play in particular cause problems for on defense? And then also, why isn't every offense getting first downs automatically every time they do the tush-push?
I got to be honest, I'm surprised at how many people are failing at it. because I'm on the side of if you have a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1, you should be quarterback sneaking it every single time. Nothing frustrates me more than seeing a team line up in shotgun on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. But I'm almost having to try and change my mind a little bit because of all these teams failing at it. The Cowboys failed at it. The Giants failed at it.
Patriots.
I think like the biggest advantage that you have in this type of situation, because it's almost everything's equal. It's a scrum, everybody's lined up, but the one advantage the offense has is they know the snap count. So you get to move that massive amount of weight faster than the defense gets to move it. Now, it may only be a 1/10 of a second, but that's all you need to get 1 yard. So, I mean, when you sit there and you look at it, you're like, okay, the one team that's really, really dominating it is the Eagles. They have Jason Kelsey, one of the best, if not the best centers of all time. They have a quarterback that squats 600 pounds, obviously, which really helps when the quarterback can drive the pile. They're just doing it that much better, and I think it comes down to the center and the quarterback and the ability to take that extra 1/10 of a second advantage and just dominate people. But I'm really shocked at how many people are getting stuffed on it.
Yeah, Dak said that they didn't push his tush enough. That's why he didn't pick it up. And I assume the next iteration from the Eagles is a hard count, because the amount of – I couldn't even fathom the amount of on the defensive side. Like, you have to submarine pretty much as soon as that ball moves. Hard count's coming at some point. It has to come. Just natural human instinct would be to just move a little bit. Can't get your own guys out.
That's right.
Because then you get out of tush-push territory.
That's bad.
And once you get out
fake it and take a shot downfield, though. What if you do that?
Yeah, with a release. Like
back away and let a tight end release down the field and pop it right over the top.
Pass,
We haven't even seen the evolution of this thing yet. And it might
somebody this past week tried a little flip out of it. They were like in tush-push, and then they went with the flip out the backside, and I believe they dropped it. I'm trying to think of
believe that
who
was
it
the Patriots. Yeah, I think the Patriots did that. Mac Jones went to flip it to Ramondre Stevenson, and it was about a quarter mile behind him.
Oh, yeah, and then it went out of bounds. 4th and 1.
Bingo,
yeah. I do remember that. Tush-push, backside, a lot of butt talk out of you, JJ. I love everything about it. Let's talk butts. Let's talk about a guy who's a game closer. Ladies and gentlemen, Ty Schmid.
Yeah, JJ, Micah Parsons, who, I don't think he wasn't super active. We thought, especially with like how he's done so far this year, that he might take over that game against the Chargers. But the Chargers had 5 sacks and kind of had Dak moving all night. But then on that last drive on 2nd down, he gets in there, gets a huge sack. If you're as dominant as he is, and you're not having a game that's really popping off the stat sheet, does a play like this kind of just absolve everything that you've done up to that point? And also, how the hell do the Chargers, when they know, hey, where's he at? We can't let this guy just completely destroy what we're trying to do here. And then in the most critical moment of the game, he's still just a free rusher bearing down on Herbert. How the hell does that happen?
Yeah, I think that what you're speaking about is it kind of works twofold. So if you're not having, let's say, the numbers or the stats that you want to have, but it gets to the end of the game and it's crunch time and it's time for somebody needs to make a play to try and end this game, you do kind of get into that mode where you're like, okay, maybe not the best body of work. Maybe I don't have the numbers I want, but if I do this right now, none of that matters because it helps us win the game. And this is the moment that people remember. And obviously he did that in this game. I mean, being able to end it with that and then the pressure on the interception, obviously. The guy is an incredible player. Now, to say that he was free on Herbert, I mean, he wasn't. He kind of split. He didn't necessarily split a double team because he was rushing up the gap and then they both split off to block other people, which helped. But, I mean, if it was me, I would say, yes, look at me. I split that double team. What a job. But it's a dominant, great sack. And that moment, to your point, yes, does take away anything else that happened in the game because at the end of the day, it's about winning. And he just helped his team win the game.
Yeah, Gilmore would get a pick the next play. I do believe they would obviously end up getting a big-time dub over the Chargers where that super fan was showcased. JJ, I know you're a guy.
Pat,
JJ,
where are we at on this?
JJ, listen.
Where are we at on this? A lot of talk.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I know is fake. Okay? That building you've been posting all over your damn Instagram, okay? That's a fake building. I don't know why you were doing this. That's not real, JJ. And you posted this thing like 10 times on your Instagram. That's a fake building. What are they paying you to do this? And why are they paying you to post a fake building, JJ?
I posted this one time, and you turned it into a full-blown conspiracy theory, which you have on your hands. I mean, the world is abuzz about the fan and about your show and about everything going on with this woman, which I love. I love the lady. I think it's incredible. But
it doesn't sound like you love her, JJ. Yeah. You did a little, that was your first reaction. Okay, that was your first reaction.
I don't know the honest truth. I want to believe she's a super fan. I absolutely want to believe.
Yeah.
Okay, JJ, that makes
a couple
five
teams.
of us. Because these two.
Well, where are we at? Like, I mean, obviously the show yesterday after watching that, absolutely, she's 100% a real fan. Then you get the Viking stuff, and we get to today, and then we get people that are pissed at her. Even I don't care if she switched leaderships. Who cares? Yeah, she's passionate. She loves the game. I don't give a shit.
Me neither.
Yeah.
And also, if that's fake, if that's acting, like 4 hours,
Good job.
let's and if she's
sign her up.
I guess people would say, well, then she's getting paid. It's like, well, Florio says she's getting paid in attention. That's all she cares. It's like, well, I don't care. I hope there's 70,000 people at Lucas Oil Stadium looking for attention for being absurd as they take on the Cleveland Browns this weekend. Yeah. That's what I hope happens. So I want to believe. But I do believe the part of it is just like human instinct. It's tough to believe that you have that much passion about it.
I would love to have that much passion about a lot of like that to live life with that much passion is fantastic.
You're right. We need more Marianne Does, if that's her name. If that's her name, we would like more Mary. What's that, AJ? What was that?
What are you trying to say? That's not even her name. Why?
I don't know what to believe. I was reading a lot of things on the internet last night.
Who's she working for, Pat? Who's she working for then?
I think she's working for herself. I think she's just out there doing her thing. I think she potentially, she said that she's on the Jumbotron all the time at Chargers games. It's like she knows the attention's there. Yeah. And she still shows up for her team. She's not embarrassed. No. She's not scared of the spotlight.
What if they play the Vikings though? What if they face off?
She's got that Laura Hawk jersey.
Yep. Bingo.
Right down the middle. And she's actually painting her face, and it'll just say OL, because the SK was off. That photo, she was all in on the Vikings. I wonder what happened. What did the Vikings do in the last few years? Maybe when Thielen left.
They choked.
Yeah, it might have been when Thielen left.
Or Zimmer. She looks like a big Zimmer girl.
What's that, JJ? Yeah. You were looking at that photo. That was the
Was that at the Coliseum? So she was already living in LA and supporting?
Okay, JJ.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
StubHub Stadium.
I can't see it.
I think it's when they were playing in the Gopher Stadium when they were working on the new.
I think that's the Coliseum because it's a Rams game. If you zoom in on the logo,
yeah,
maybe
it's a Rams
Los Angeles
game.
Rams.
So that's the Rose Bowl, right?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Who was saying it was StubHub? Who said it was the soccer stadium?
Well, when it was just remember, zoom in a little bit. The original photo that the internet saw was that.
Yeah.
Pretty much right there. That was all the internet had. So whoever is an old friend of hers that is probably a Vikings fan was like, I'm about sick of this.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, this is from Facebook, and they just send out, that entire thing to somebody. And then somebody dug in a little deeper and was like, hey, well, if you zoom out, that is not a kid's game. No, that is the Los Angeles Rams. As are adults. So I learned a lot about her, and to everybody's point here, if that was fake fandom, we need more fake niceness.
Yeah.
Instead of real bullshit.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you, Marianne.
Love you,
Marianne.
Marianne.
Thank you, Marianne. You know who's not saying thank you? Tristan Wirfs, whenever somebody says, I want your creamsicle jersey. Watch this clip from after the game this past weekend.
What up, big dog? How you doing? Dude, you're a dog. You're a dog.
Hell yeah.
No! Bro, I see you. Let me get that. This? Let me get that. I got to keep this one. This is the creamsicle. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Hey, Ken. Well, Jack.
I'll send you one.
Iowa guys.
Yeah. I'll send you one. You know I got to keep this creamsicle one. I forgot.
Okay, I appreciate that Soul was like, yeah, you're right. Boom. This is not a normal jersey. And I like that Tristan Wirfs got super excited. He was like, bro, you see how cool these are? I got my C on here. I got a name. I'm gonna go ahead and hang this one. This is now what week of what? Wednesday now? 5, 6? What week? How many weeks do you think? Is this 6 weeks, 7 weeks?
I believe it's
probably 6.
6 or 7.
6.
5.
Every single week, okay?
Yeah.
JJ has wanted to talk about jerseys.
Without
I had no idea. I don't know if anybody knows.
Oh, yeah.
This guy loves the jersey game. Will you explain the creamsicle jersey and why it's so special, and also your affinity for these jerseys around the league? Because I find it to be quite interesting that you are this dialed into all of these things.
I love talking uniforms, Pat. I think that it's a fascinating discussion around the NFL, and I think that some throwbacks are absolutely lights out and should become full-time uniforms. I think some are great, but should only be used sometimes, and I think some are terrible. I'm not going to say who I do because I don't want to offend anybody on this show that lives in Indianapolis, and some of them may be coming up.
Whoa! Are you talking about the Indiana boys on the Indiana Knights, but it's a 1 o'clock game, I think?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the good ones, I think. I'll just talk about the good ones.
The good.
I think the Falcons 1,000% should make theirs a full-time uniform. Absolutely. I think the creamsicle works perfectly as a once-in-a-while throwback. I do not think that should be a full-time. I think the Vikings throwbacks 100% should be their full-time uniform. I think there's one on this picture that you're looking at that I think is unbelievably clean, but also just makes me cry on the inside. The Oilers. The Oilers uniform is extremely good, but Houston, that's Houston. And I know Titans fans are going to all up in my mentions now. Stop crying about it. Okay. I lived in Houston. All those people in Houston, the history, the tradition, everything that they have down there. I'm getting heated up. I got to cool it down.
I knew there was an angle,
but they do look good.
I knew there was an angle. And the angle is that you people, and I'm talking about Houston Texans fans, have said to themselves every time the Titans have trotted out this old Oilers jersey going, that's ours. That's our city's thing. That should be the Texans throwback jersey. That is what should be here in Houston as opposed to Tennessee. Nobody really talks about this much. Everybody talks about how cool it is. They're like, look at how cool that old Oilers jersey is.
Sweet.
Oh, you remember the glory days down there in Houston. I think there was multiple massive games with the Pittsburgh Steelers that have kind of highlighted my childhood growing up with that beautiful baby blue. And all the Texans fans are saying, everybody likes it, huh? Yeah, it's because we created it. That is our thing. I didn't know that was the case. That's the case?
Yeah, I have to say this right out of the gate. So Amy Adams-Strunk, the Titans owner, is a phenomenal person. She donated $1 million to the hurricane relief. She was one of the first people to reach out. So I have unbelievable respect for her and everybody over there. So a lot of this, when I say it, is a little bit in jest, obviously. But the reality of the situation is the people of Houston, the city of Houston, absolutely feels that connection to Love You Blue. They feel that connection to that era, to that team. There was a lot of things that went on at the end of that era and the reason for them leaving town and everything that came along with it. But it's so hard not to be able to wear those uniforms when you're playing down there in Houston because they're beautiful. It is a beautiful uniform.
Yeah, they'd be the second best. They'd be second best in the AFC South, just like they are now.
Oh,
the Indiana
look at
Knights.
That thing. What is that?
Yeah, but the jerseys.
What is that? It's Indiana
Make
Knights.
the jerseys black. Make the jerseys black and the pants black as well.
Yes.
The jerseys aren't black?
Yeah.
Hold on.
So it's Indiana Knights, but
look
it's a
at the
blue.
picture.
It's a blue. It's like a moon, like a blue moon.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's right here. I thought I threw this one away. It is here.
Is that paisley?
It's blue. Like
So sweet.
guys, it's awesome.
Wow.
Show it off.
That's how this show
Hold up, man. Come on. Hold up.
So cool.
Good
All
Tar.
Hey, we'll see you tomorrow for Thursday Night Football Thursday right here back on ESPN. Sports Center in 7. Have a good day. Nailed it. Okay.
Nice.
How hard is it, man? Honestly, some of these, there are some unbelievable ideas out there, and there are just some that's how did you miss like that?
So we all agree, okay, JJ, that this would have been dope, all blacked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Every blacked out uniform looks so cool.
Yep.
You look so fast.
Oh, yeah.
There was a time where the Indianapolis Colts would just wear white Spanx. That was pretty much our uniform. You know what I mean? It was just all white. Here, they had 2 stripes here, I think, or 3 stripes. I forget the exact amount. All white, all white, all white, all white. So we were just wearing Spanx. And as cameras evolved, those of us who enjoyed Thanksgiving and holidays and maybe got a little bit pudgier, those 4K cameras really exposed some big belly buttons, So I was a big fan of any type of alternate uniform we could potentially come up with or wear. And I think there is a lot to the tradition of the Colts, been around a long time, obviously all Baltimore Colts teams and everything like that. But when I heard Indiana Knights was coming,
Yes.
I thought we were going Black Dot.
So pumped.
So like murdered out, matte black all the way down. And that blue is a good hint.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like in the middle of it. So we were all confused by the blue jersey, but the boys are going to look good. And it's Indiana boys on them Indiana Knights. Yeah, AQ did not enjoy the white Spanx either.
That's AQ.
I think it's punters and O-linemen. Like Shane Lecker would always say, please let us not wear all white this week. I don't want to wear all white. O-linemen, same way. They never want to wear the all white. I personally like the all white, but I realized.
But
Yeah.
I mean, these guys.
Of course.
Yeah, just absolutely strapping lads. Maybe
I'll tell you why I liked it. I'm very, very pale. So it made me look a little tanner when I was rocking the all white. I am still the same human.
super
Very
cock,
pale.
super Caucasian, super cock. Yeah, D-Butt looks so cool.
Jeez.
D-Butt looks so
Oh
cool.
gosh, look at that.
Had the
Pops
boxing
out.
glove on.
Pops out.
Yeah,
I was
dude,
against
yeah.
Houston. I was against Houston actually.
Look at that
Thursday
club.
night.
That club is sweet.
Sunday night.
Hey, in the back there, that's
TJ
Yeah.
Green.
Hey, he was cool dude.
Yep.
He sat next to me every single meeting. I think he was still playing up until like a couple years ago.
Yeah, he played in.
I mean, that's a great uniform.
It's not. Thank you,
It
though,
is.
JJ.
It is. Thank you.
Looks
JJ.
good. Clean.
For real.
I mean, on those guys, it looks awesome. Like the picture from AQ
On the skill
looks
position.
awesome.
Whoa, JJ.
Did you mean on black guys?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, what's that about?
Oh, of course.
Old Wisconsin.
Oh,
Second time today.
I forgot. We're on ESPN. Gotta hate white guys. Is that the case, JJ? Jeez Louise, dude. Unbelievable. No, but you're right. Yeah. I mean, there was guys that were certainly much better off with because as the years went on and technology grew, you couldn't even get like the old school like jersey one that was like loose. It was like loose. What are you talking about? We only have the tightest up. That's like 7 times the size. That's like 7 times bigger than the size I'm supposed to have. So it was like, it's really tight on. I'm like, well, give me can I get like a 19X then?
Yeah.
Can I just get a loose
It's a good photo.
He looked clean, cuz.
It's a good photo. Yeah.
What good is this from?
It's a good look.
yeah, Antonio Brown just shook the shit out of me in the middle of the fucking field, right in front of like.
Good picture though.
There was like 30 McAfees there as
Is that
well.
when he jumped on the?
Yeah, then he humped the thing, and
One glove.
He's due
one
for a
glove,
threesome.
Michael Jackson.
I always went with one glove
Ooh, that was the.
because the glove technology was so good, and every time I went on the field, I caught a ball. You know what I mean? Like, so I had to catch every single time I went out there. Used to work my hands. Had probably
Third or fourth.
I don't know, D, but
3 or 4.
if I went with 2 gloves, I couldn't even fathom what I would have been doing on that jugs machine. But I worked hard on my hands. Like I did. I think that's a massive part of punting. Like I think like a lot of younger kids, whenever they ask me, like college kids, they're like, how do I get better at punting? It's like, yo, get better with your hands. Because the longer you see the ball on the tee, like the better you're going to be. It's just like natural there. But I also like to feel the ball, you know, because I need to feel where it is. So I went with the one glove to help with the catch, and then the feel, you know, laces with the right hand, the drop with the right hand. You know, I would do that.
So you're catching with the glove and spinning with the non-glove?
Two-handed catch, but the left hand is dominating the catch. You know, 2 hands though, but the left hand is dominating because of the glove. And then I'm feeling with the right. Yeah, I'm feeling with the right, you know. Yeah. For Adam Vinatieri, so I don't fuck him over. Because if he misses, it's definitely me, not Adam Vinatieri.
Ooh,
He's
that
great.
is a stressful spot to be in.
Bro, first time I went out there holding for him, it was my first time ever holding. Yeah, okay. Lied to Bill Polian and said I knew how to hold. That's why I got drafted to be the punter there. So
You guys had a good snapper down there too, Overton, right?
Overton was there towards the end. Justin Snow was there at the beginning. Yeah, we had a great operation. We had a good crew every time I was down there. But like,
Could he snap the laces? I was talking to John Weeks about this for a long time because he practices it all the time. That he can literally snap it so that you don't have to move the laces. That's the most precise.
That's how they're judged. Yeah, that's how long snappers are judged. So like, you see,
that's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, they just same throw every single time, same distance every single time, and like that's how you get one of the 32 jobs. You know, they're making millions of bucks right now.
Yeah.
What about punt snaps, Pat? What about punt snaps? Can he put the laces up for you?
No, just strike zone is all you're looking for. Like basically knee to chest. Like people will say, I want it right on my hip. It's like, okay, if you from 14 and a half yards, if you can put that fucking right on right here
every time.
I'm with you, AJ. I'm with you. Why not? They got all day to practice. I mean, they don't.
True.
What else going on? Like it's the same distance every time. Come on, like you got 2 things.
You can't line anybody up either. Think about it, Jage.
One is 4. Yeah.
Hey, JJ, in college, were you allowed to kill the center? Were you allowed to kill the snapper on like field goals in college, or did they change the rule by then?
I don't remember, but I was in that wedge in the back, so I was getting killed. I don't remember if you
rules. They changed the rules recently. What was it, like last probably 5 years maybe? Is that what it was, I think? Where the long snapper, it used to be,
Protected.
you know that tush push? Tush push was happening right over
On the snapper.
both shoulders of the long snapper with D tackles down here and then 2 linebackers behind them. And then as soon as that ball moves, 600 pounds on one shoulder, 600 pounds on the other, and then there's somebody coming up behind trying to get the block. And at some point...
But I will say that that's one of my favorite things in the world is when, you know how nowadays teams try and move a guy in the punt formation just to try and get something? So if you move anybody, if anybody goes into motion or anybody moves, the back ref goes like this, and that means that you're allowed to now line up over the center. Oh, when this the second anybody back there moved and the ref did this, the 300-pound nose tackle just slides right head up over the snapper and right down the railway. That's the best.
It's literally any time. So we used to have a PP, so we didn't know which way we were punting when we went out onto the field. Like it was a really nice thing that Coach McMahon kind of just not only allowed us to do, but like promoted, and we had a good crew. So whenever our PP was trying to get set, like if he would set his feet and then he would move, then all of a sudden it was the boom, and then Overton's got a guy. So our PP would literally walk onto the field and never stop walking. Okay, the whole thing's going down. And then as soon as we would pick a side or declare what we were doing, then all of a sudden a shift would happen from some teams and he would have to move again. You could hear Overton basically go, motherfucker, up there because he's about to get just steamrolled in that whole thing. Long snappers in the NFL are so incredibly precise. That's why if you see a guy who has a job, he's having that job until he fucks up pretty much. So if you see guys that have been around for 10 years, 15 years at a place, it's like they have been so precise, so diligent in their job for so long. They've been paid well, but they've also been given zero credit for anything that they have done through their whole life, and that's just what it is, trying to stay under the radar. In punt coverage snapping, it's like 2 things. You got to be able to do 2 things really well. It's either you snap really well, block really well, or cover really well. So in the punt game, like on field goals, have to be able to get the laces. That's like just, you have to do that. Like laces have to be from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock every single fucking time. If we're spinning 6 o'clocks on a regular basis, you are fucking fired. Boom. Okay, that is just how this whole thing goes. In the punt, though, like, you got to be able to snap well. It's got to be accurate. But if you're, like, kind of miss every once in a while, like Diossi for the Giants, he was a guy that was not as accurate with the punt block, but he could block, and he was making, like, 15, 20 tackles a year down there. So that's, like, kind of how it's everybody's judged. Didn't want to go on a full long snapper rant, but I got massive respect for him, and it is not an easy job at all, JJ.
Hey, we got one of the best, too, here.
Luke Rhodes.
Yeah,
this dude is former linebacker, comes in to play linebacker for the Colts and starts looking around, starts seeing how everything's kind of unfolding. And Tom McMahon is like, hey, you should. And he like picked it up. And now he's like Pro Bowler, everything like
Beast.
that. Yeah, he's a dog. But yeah, you trying to ruin their lives, JJ, makes so much sense.
Oh, cool.
Now that I just thought about that.
I love that we gave them some shine. They deserve some shine. They worked their ass off. They have a craft that they perfected, and they found a way to make millions of dollars throwing the ball between their legs. All for it. Love it.
Yeah, we do love that type of story, don't we?
Yeah.
Just like we love Taylor and Travis being in love.
Yeah. Right, JJ?
Same as Chargers fans, same as the building. We
Whoa.
love it all. We love it all. We love it all. All good stories.
You're the man. We appreciate the hell out of you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I know it's been a long one with the baby on East Coast time, but you guys on West Coast time. So power through, pal. You're a dad.
You're a good man. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
You too, JJ. Hey, and listen, Darius.
When I come back here, I'll watch. I'll know.
Yeah.
All 3 of them.
We did it.
Let's fly together.
Hey, next week.
Maybe not 3.
Next week,
That's awesome.
Darius will have a nice summary
Yeah.
of the Mighty Ducks franchise.
Yes,
There
that'd be
we
great.
go.
AJ, have fun in Ohio State. That'll be awesome. It's going to be really cool to watch that. Looking forward to seeing. Yeah.
3 points this weekend, JJ. Come on, lads.
Who?
Burnley, come on, lads.
Against who?
Brentford, must win.
Brentford.
Got to get it done.
They're just above you. They haven't been winning. You got to win, JJ.
Yep. Thank you for breaking down my own team to me. I appreciate it very much.
Oh, shit. Slap the ball the other way.
Hey, so,
is there anything else I should know? Is there anything else?
You're going to want to keep possession with them because they like the long ball. They'll go over the top. They'll burn you real quick.
Tell them, JJ, right before the game.
Send the text.
Get in there and let them know strategy, what you need to break down.
I will.
So we're not good right now?
I had a call with our coach last week.
What did the boys say? What do the lads got cooking? Yeah, what do we got going? We got to win, right? We got to win. That's what needs to happen.
Yes, I love I'd say coach in America, so people know, but our manager, he's a brilliant mind. He's literally one of the best Premier League players in history. He's won it all. He speaks 7 languages. He's super smart. So he's always trying to find new angles and new ways to get better. And it was their technical bye week last week because of the international break, and so he wanted to talk literally about some things in the NFL, and if there's any possible things that can help him and help them be better and help just anything he could find to get better. So it was really cool.
I thought he was saying, hey, lad, let's not talk about soccer.
No.
Tell me about this Jets defense. I would have been like, whoa, JJ, we need a new guy. If we're in the middle of the season worried about that, he's trying to find new ways to motivate the boys.
Sure.
Right? That's what he's trying to motivate.
No, like stuff. Like, no, actual stuff. Like how man-to-man defenses work, how zone defenses, how you find ways to break them. Like, he's trying to see, is there any correlation whatsoever?
Oh,
he got to watch everything DB.
No stone left unturned. I agree completely, but also we got...
I do need to send him some DB. Yeah. I'll send him some clips.
Yeah.
We got a big game to prepare for. Maybe let's not be watching them too much American football.
Yeah.
If you guys lose, you got to shit can this guy, JJ. You got to.
You cannot. Vincent Company's a legend.
It's Vincent Company?
Yes, sir.
The Dutch? Why the hell is he talking about football?
Wait, the Flying Dutchman?
Yeah.
Get him on. Get your team on some steroids, Jage. Get him on. Get him on over.
There it is.
Or have one of them release a sex tape. Get some pub for that team.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Oh, yeah, I think that'll do it.
All right, we appreciate. Hey, let's go, Burnley.
Yeah, come on now, Burnley.
It's Clarence. Very late, ladies and gentlemen. JJ Watt.
Yeah.